Boxed mac and cheese and frozen meatballs seem harmless until you learn the truth. From chlorine-washed salads to canned toppings with propellant gas, these 20 U.S. products will make you rethink your fridge. Once you know, there's no going back. Number 1. Bagged pre-washed salad mixes. Pre-washed, ready to eat, and marketed as a healthy convenience, bagged salad seems like a smart choice. But the truth hiding inside that crinkly plastic may surprise you. These greens aren't just rinsed with water. They're typically washed in a chlorine solution, the same chemical used to sanitize swimming pools. While it helps kill bacteria and extend shelf life, it can leave behind trace residues. Some health experts warn that these may irritate sensitive digestive systems. And it doesn't end there. To keep the leaves looking fresh, producers use modified atmosphere packaging. That means the bag is flushed with nitrogen and sealed in a low-oxygen environment. It slows spoilage, but also creates a false sense of freshness. According to food safety studies, harmful bacteria like Listeria can still survive inside sealed bags, especially if they're stored too long or not properly chilled. Think bagged salad was bad? Wait until you find out what's really inside your frozen meatballs. Number 2. Frozen processed meatballs. Many frozen meatballs are produced using mechanically separated meat, a paste-like substance created by forcing the last bits of muscle off animal bones using high pressure. That base is then blended with soy protein, textured fillers, breadcrumbs, and chemical binders to hold everything together. Since the flavor isn't much to start with, manufacturers boost it with salt, artificial seasonings, and synthetic preservatives, turning it into a shelf-stable product made for volume, not quality. Some lower-cost varieties contain significantly less than 100% meat, with the rest made up of starches and chemical additives that cut costs and extend shelf life. So while it may seem like an easy dinner fix, what you're heating is a processed mix of scraps, lab-made fillers, and industrial flavor tricks, shaped to look homemade. If you grew up on boxed mac and cheese, this next one might ruin your childhood comfort food forever. Number 3. Boxed mac and cheese. Boxed mac and cheese is far from what it seems. That bright orange powder is not just cheese. It's a mix of artificial flavors, anti-caking agents, emulsifiers, and synthetic dyes like Yellow 5 and Yellow 6. Chemicals designed to copy the color and creaminess of real cheddar. And while it thickens as it sits, there's surprisingly little actual dairy involved. Some versions also include sodium phosphate to keep the sauce smooth and silicon dioxide to prevent clumping. These additives make it cook fast and last for months, but they turn a simple dish into a lab experiment. That nostalgic neon hue might take you back, but once you know it's powered by petroleum-based compounds, does it still taste the same? Number 4. Toaster pastries. Toaster pastries are less breakfast and more sugar-loaded dessert wrapped in foil. Each one is filled with refined sugar, corn syrup, and synthetic dyes, especially red 40 and blue 1. These artificial colors have come under increasing scrutiny, but with several countries in the European Union restricting their use or requiring warning labels due to possible links to hyperactivity in children. That fruity filling is typically a sugary gel thickened with stabilizers and flavored artificially, often containing less than 2% real fruit. The crust is made with enriched white flour, hydrogenated oils, and chemical preservatives designed to keep it shelf-stable for months. Some varieties even include BHT, or butylated hydroxytoluene, a preservative banned in parts of Europe due to long-term health concerns. And just when you thought breakfast couldn't get more convenient, what's actually inside toaster pastries will make you pause before popping one in again. Before we continue, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel. And if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. Deal? Number 5. American cheese slices. American cheese may look smooth and satisfying, but it's a heavily processed blend of leftover cheese scraps, milk powder, whey, food starches, and emulsifying salts. These ingredients are ground, reheated, and chemically treated to create that melt-in-your-mouth texture. That orange hue isn't from aging or natural ingredients. It's typically made using color additives like annatto or synthetic dyes such as yellow 5 or yellow 6 to mimic what we expect cheese to look like. Here's the kicker. Under United States food regulations, it's not even legally allowed to be called cheese. It's classified as a pasteurized processed cheese product because it doesn't contain enough real dairy to meet the legal standard for cheese. So while it plays the part convincingly, what you're eating is a manufactured dairy derivative that owes more to industrial processing than to traditional cheese making. Now, what about that perfectly melting cheese slice? Let's see why it's not even legally considered cheese. Number 6. Flavored instant rice. The flavored instant rice is built more in a lab than in a kitchen. Let's start with the seasoning packet. It's typically loaded with synthetic flavor compounds, dehydrated oils, and sodium-packed powders. That so-called buttery or cheesy taste doesn't come from real butter or cheese. It's a chemical formula engineered to trick your taste buds. To keep it flowing and shelf-stable, manufacturers add anti-caking agents and preservatives like silicon dioxide and tertiary butylhydroquinone. Meanwhile, the rice itself is pre-cooked and dehydrated, which strips away most of the natural fiber and nutrients. A 2023 study published in Environmental Science and Technology found that instant rice contains up to 13 milligrams of microplastics per 100 grams of dry product, about 3 times more than traditionally cooked rice. Have you looked closely at your instant rice labels? Were you surprised to learn about microplastics? Share your reactions or your favorite real food alternatives in the comments. Number 7. Artificial maple syrup. Let's talk syrup. You might think you're pouring liquid gold on your pancakes, but most of what's sold in stores isn't maple syrup at all. It's industrial syrup pretending to be the real thing. Nearly all mass-market syrups sitting on grocery shelves are made almost entirely from high-fructose corn syrup, mixed with artificial flavoring to mimic that rich maple taste. What gives it its color is the caramel color. The consistency is cellulose gum. That maple smell is synthetic esters. So what you're drizzling is a chemical blend, sweet, sticky, and stripped of anything natural. High-fructose corn syrup, the main ingredient, has been linked to obesity, fatty liver disease, and insulin resistance when consumed frequently. According to the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 40% of American adults are classified as obese, and added sugars play a major role. Real maple syrup, on the other hand, comes from tapped tree sap, boiled down into a thick, mineral-rich syrup loaded with manganese and zinc. But a small bottle can cost over $10, which is why the fake version keeps dominating the shelves. So that syrup you thought was harmless? It's closer to candy chemistry than anything found in nature. If convenience is your go-to, here's why that canned chicken might come with an invisible risk. Number 8. Canned chicken. Many food cans in the United States are still lined with a plastic coating made from bisphenol A or BPA. This chemical has been linked in multiple studies to hormone disruption and long-term health risks. While some brands now offer BPA-free packaging, a 2023 report from Consumer Reports found that several cans still contain measurable levels of this compound or its chemical cousins. The chicken is usually pre-cooked, shredded, and soaked in a salty broth full of preservatives. It's often made from lower-grade cuts, and because it sits sealed for months, sometimes even years, its texture and flavor are chemically stabilized, not naturally preserved. So while canned chicken might save you time, it's a shortcut that could come at the expense of your long-term health. Fruit snacks? More like candy in disguise. Let's break down what you're really biting into. Number 9. Fruit snacks. Fruit snacks may sound like a sweet way to sneak fruit into your diet, but don't let the name fool you. Behind that colorful packaging is a cocktail of industrial ingredients, not nature's bounty. Instead of real fruit, what you're chewing on is mostly corn syrup blended with lab-made flavorings and synthetic dyes. Those vibrant reds, yellows, and blues? That's red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1. These are artificial colorants derived from petroleum, and they've sparked enough controversy to be banned or restricted in the European Union and several other countries due to links with hyperactivity and behavioral concerns in children. And the fruit flavor? It's not coming from the orchard. It's created using lab-synthesized esters that merely mimic real fruit compounds. Even the chewy texture comes from gelatin, a substance extracted from animal collagen, hardly the image of a healthy snack. So fruit snacks are just candy wearing a fruit costume. This is one product that deserves a permanent spot on your never again list. Coming up, the stew that looks homemade but is actually a lab-crafted illusion. Number 10. Canned beef stew. Behind that thick gravy and soft vegetables, canned beef stew relies on lower-grade cuts of beef, trimmings, and tough pieces that wouldn't sell fresh. These scraps are stewed for hours to break down the texture, then masked with a sauce packed with salt, monosodium glutamate, and lab-made flavor enhancers. One common additive is caramel coloring. It gives the stew the deep, slow-cooked appearance, but certain forms of this coloring, particularly Class 3 and Class 4 types, have raised concerns. According to recent toxicology reviews, they can produce compounds like 4-methylimidazoles during processing, a chemical flagged by California as a potential carcinogen. And it doesn't end there. Most varieties also contain preservatives and thickeners like modified corn starch or guar gum, all designed to boost shelf life, not health. Number 11. Frozen breakfast sandwiches. Beneath frozen breakfast sandwiches lies a highly engineered meal built for freezer life, not real nutrition. The eggs are often made from liquid egg blends containing stabilizers and emulsifiers to hold their form. The sausage is typically loaded with phosphates, binding agents, and artificial flavors, formulated to stay moist through repeated freeze-thaw cycles. And the bread is usually made with modified starches and dough conditioners to keep it from turning rock hard in the microwave. Some products even include azotocarbonamide, a dough additive banned in parts of Europe used to maintain texture and shelf life. According to recent data from the United States Department of Agriculture, many frozen breakfast sandwiches contain between 700 and 1,000 milligrams of sodium per serving, up to 40% of the recommended daily limit. Have you taken a second look at your freezer meals lately? Found a cleaner alternative to frozen breakfast sandwiches? Drop your go-to-breakfast tips in the comments. We're all in this journey together. Number 12. Processed turkey deli slices. The deli turkey in your sandwich, instead of being carved from real turkey breast, most slices come from a processed mash of turkey parts mixed with a salty, sugary brine packed with preservatives. This blend is molded into loaves, heat-treated, and sliced to mimic real meat. One key additive is sodium phosphate, used to keep the meat moist and flavorful well past its natural shelf life. But high phosphate intake has been linked to kidney damage and heart disease. A 2023 study in the journal Nutrients also found it may raise blood pressure and stiffen arteries. Add in the excess salt and sugar, and you're looking at a product built for shelf life, not health. Deli turkey may look clean, but behind the scenes, it's chemically engineered. That creamy cheese sauce mix? You'll be surprised how little cheese is actually in it. Number 13. Instant cheese sauce mix. Instant cheese sauce mix is far from the real deal. What you're stirring into pasta or drizzling over vegetables is usually built from maltodextrin, a starchy filler, combined with artificial cheese flavoring, powdered emulsifiers, and dehydrated oils. As for real cheese, some mixes include trace amounts but not enough to offer meaningful nutrition or authentic flavor. To create that smooth, creamy consistency, manufacturers rely on food gums like xanthan or guar gum. And to deliver that signature cheddar glow, they add synthetic dyes such as yellow 6, a petroleum-derived colorant that has been flagged for potential health concerns and is restricted in parts of the European Union. To stay shelf-stable for months or even years, these powders are also packed with preservatives and chemical stabilizers, ingredients that would never appear in a homemade cheese sauce. Number 14. Powdered mashed potatoes. Boxed mashed potatoes. While they technically start with real potatoes, that's where the similarity ends. These potatoes are first cooked, then aggressively dehydrated into flakes or granules. In the process, most of the original nutrients and natural texture are wiped out. To recreate that creamy consistency, manufacturers rely on a cocktail of additives. We're talking about preservatives, flavor boosters, and emulsifiers. One common group is mono and diglycerides, lab-made fats used to maintain smoothness. Then there are sulfites, added to extend shelf life. But sulfites are known to trigger allergic reactions in sensitive individuals, and in the United States, the Food and Drug Administration requires clear labeling when used above a certain threshold. What you end up with is a warm, fluffy-looking mash that might fool your taste buds for a moment, but underneath it all, it's heavily processed. It's the kind of food you'd never whip up from scratch, because you wouldn't keep those lab-grade ingredients in your kitchen. Number 15. Flavored oatmeal packets. Flavored instant oatmeal packets are far more processed than they look. Oats are the base, but the health benefits quickly get buried. Many packets contain more added sugar than a candy bar. Nutrition watchdogs report that some popular brands pack over 12 grams of added sugar per serving. That's around 3 teaspoons high. Often from corn syrup solids and refined white sugar. And that apple or berry flavor? It usually comes from synthetic compounds with little or no real fruit. To keep the texture smooth and extend shelf life, manufacturers add emulsifiers, thickeners, and preservatives, creating a product built to sit for months. So while the front of the box promotes heart-healthy oats, what's inside is a pre-engineered blend of sweeteners and additives that does your health no favors. Did you grow up on canned spaghetti? What's really in it might change your mind for good. Number 16. Canned spaghetti products. Canned spaghetti meals are more about convenience chemistry than culinary quality. These products usually start with pre-cooked pasta, softened further in a sugary tomato-based sauce. That thickness often comes from high-fructose corn syrup and food stabilizers crafted to maintain consistency over time. Most cheese versions use a processed powdered substitute, formulated to melt just enough without spoiling. And those meatballs are hot dogs. They're often made from emulsified meat byproducts mixed with fillers and preserved with sodium nitrite, a compound tied to potential health risks with frequent consumption. To keep everything shelf-stable, the meals are pressure-cooked and sealed in cans that in many cases are still lined with BPA-based plastics. When heated, these linings can release trace chemicals, a concern raised by recent packaging safety studies and public health advocates. Did you grow up eating canned spaghetti? Would you still open one today after learning this? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. Number 17. Ready-to-drink protein shakes. While the label boasts high protein content, that protein in bottled protein shakes often comes from ultra-processed isolates and concentrates, far removed from whole food sources. To keep the texture smooth and the shelf life long, manufacturers add thickeners like carrageenan and xanthan gum, artificial flavors to mimic chocolate or vanilla, and synthetic vitamins to boost the nutritional profile. Sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and asulfame potassium are commonly used to cut calories. However, recent studies in peer-reviewed medical journals have linked some of these additives to gut microbiome disruption and digestive discomfort in sensitive individuals. And those lab-made vitamins? Your body may not absorb them as effectively as nutrients from real food, making the nutrition panel look impressive, even if the benefit is minimal. Number 18. Shelf-stable salsa. Unlike the kind you'd make at home with ripe tomatoes, fresh cilantro, and chopped onions, most stable jarred salsa versions start with tomato paste, not whole produce. From there, manufacturers add dehydrated onions, artificial flavorings, and thickeners to create a uniform texture and extended shelf life. To keep spoilage at bay, they include preservatives like sodium benzoate, an ingredient approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, but rarely found in home kitchens. The jars are then heat processed and vacuum sealed, a method that kills bacteria but also destroys much of the natural flavor and crisp texture. According to product data reviewed in 2024, some leading brands remain shelf-stable for up to 18 months. That's far longer than anything labeled fresh should be. Whipped cream in a can seems harmless, but what's inside might leave a bad taste. Number 19. Canned topping cream. Fluffy, festive, and piled high on pies and cocoa, canned whipped topping looks innocent enough. But what's really in that pressurized can may surprise you. Despite its creamy appearance, it's far from just cream and sugar. Instead, it's packed with synthetic stabilizers, emulsifiers, and propellants. One of the main gases used is nitrous oxide, the same compound found in dentist offices and race car engines. It doesn't just dispense the topping, it gives it that light, foamy texture. To prevent separation and spoilage during storage, manufacturers load the mixture with additives like mono and diglycerides, artificial thickeners, and food-grade gums. These ingredients help it hold its shape but make it far more processed than it appears. So while it might seem like a harmless finishing touch, that sweet topping is closer to engineered foam than real dairy. Once you know what's inside, dessert never tastes quite the same. Finally, let's talk syrup. Because not a single fruit goes into most fruit-flavored syrups. Number 20. Fruit-flavored syrups. Whether it's for pancakes, iced drinks, or dessert toppings, fruit-flavored syrups are everywhere. But here's the catch, there's almost no real fruit involved. Most of these syrups are made primarily from high-fructose corn syrup, combined with lab-created fruit esters and synthetic dyes. That strawberry or blueberry taste. It's built from chemical compounds designed to mimic the flavor and aroma of real fruit, without a single actual berry. The bold colors often come from artificial dyes like red 40, yellow 6, and blue 1. All derived from petroleum. Several of these colorants are restricted or banned in parts of Europe due to potential behavioral risks in children. As for sugar content, a typical 2 tablespoon serving can pack more than 20 grams of added sugar, putting it on par with, or even exceeding many soft drinks. Thanks to a mix of preservatives and thickeners, these syrups are engineered to last for months, sometimes years, on store shelves. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I hope you'll love this content. Comment below about the next topic you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.